What's good, everybody, man? It's your boy Brady C, man, giving you the OMFL News After Dark. Been a crazy busy weekend. Got new security set up here at the crib. Just been, getting well acquainted with the new school year. But we're gonna talk about it, man, because Madden is out, Madden is live. You know, there's still some issues, but for the most part, though, everything is still going well. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about a little bit about what's ramping up in the grown folk community. We're also gonna slide over there and talk about the big pop AEW. CM Punk was introduced, and it'll probably go down as one of the biggest pops in wrestling history. But yeah, man, we got a little bit of everything going on today. But we'll be right back with this, man. It's your boy Brady. Yay! What's good, everybody, man? It's your boy Brady Senior, man, back at it again. And let's go ahead and talk about the grown folk community real quick. I'm on the grownfolkoc.com website, and a couple stories out right now. It looks like the coach got them a couple things posted by good old Winners. And then of course, it looks like they still got some OMFL Media Days posted up there. And then, of course, during the Madden launch, of course, a couple videos we posted. The TFL is still looking for a couple good owners. I believe the Deuce is also looking for a couple good owners. And then NBC is actually putting on a little test league to get things rolling. But if I understand correctly, a lot of these leagues, man, will be waiting until after the scouting update hits. And yeah, so gotta be patient. Seasons will get started here soon, but yeah, get on over to the grownfolkoc.com and check out some of the content that we got to offer, man. It's a little bit of everything on the main page, and of course, as you branch off into the different leagues, each league has their own thing of content. And yeah, man, hope to see you on the gridiron. We'll be right back after this, man. I'm gonna go ahead and talk about some wrestling news. Peace. Hey, what's good, everybody? Man, it's your boy Brady Senior, man. You know, my family is After Dark, and we about to talk pro wrestling news, because a lot of stuff went down this weekend. Of course, you know, SummerSlam happened. A couple people came back to the company. I'm pretty sure the motherfuckers were called back to the company after CM Punk signed with AEW, and then in the midst of his speech, he talked about how Ring of Honor was the last time he actually participated in real pro wrestling. Talk about shots. Shots. He took mad shots at WWE in his promo and in his speech. And then, of course, WWE's counter to that didn't have enough impact. But Brock Lesnar returned and Becky Lynch returned. And needless to say, gave them a little bit of a pop, but nothing on the scale of CM Punk. And then, of course, Ring of Honor's got them a nice little show getting ready to come down. It's called the new matches added to Ring of Honor Death before Dishonor pay-per-view. And then apparently CM Punk will be in action September 5th at their AEW's next pay-per-view. And yeah, man, the landscape has changed. But tell me what you think in the comments, man. Who you rocking? AEW, WWE, New Japan? Toss me a little something in the comments. Other than that, man, it's your boy Brady C, man. We'll be right back after this. Peace. What's good, everybody, man? It's your boy Brady Senior, man. And this track right here going on in the back. Hey. Anyway, man, hey, it's your boy. And we get ready to talk a little bit of movie news. Of course, you already know, man, Scarlett Johansson is suing Disney for the streaming release of Black Widow. Also in movie news, they just released the final trailer for the Eternals. And boy, the comment threads are lighting up the Eternals because a couple of the images in there were the DC universe called Copycat. But needless to say, man, Dune also is going to be another holiday. Around that holiday time frame, they're going to be releasing Dune, Eternals. The next Spider-Man is coming out, which the next Spider-Man looks amazing. If you've seen the release trailer from someone in the theater. And then, of course, Shang-Chi is getting ready to open up some shit. And yeah, man, a little bit of everything on, what is this? ScreenRant.com. But yeah. Thor Love and Thunder getting ready to come down the pike, man. I mean, hey, just a lot of stuff getting ready to hit. Still kind of wondering when that next Bond getting ready to come out. But yeah, man, there's a lot of stuff that you can find out on ScreenRant.com and keeps you in the know about the movies. But a lot of people not too happy about the whole streaming newly released movies. Let me know what you think in the comments, man. Do you think it's a good feature? You know, still with the pandemic still spiraling out of control in certain areas. Just, hey, let me know. It's your boy. Peace. What's good, everybody, man? It's your boy Brady Senior, man. You know, OMFL News After Dark. If you're tuning in, and of course you really getting ready for the Press Pass Live, but since you here, man, hit the like, hit the subscribe, definitely share this shit, because we do these shows every week, and we got a lot of content being pumped out by Nate and the boys. And man, glad you're here. But stay locked, stay tuned, man. We're gonna go ahead and wrap this show up here in just a second. Peace. Hey. Woo. What's good, everybody, man? It's your boy Brady Senior, man, getting ready to finish out the OMFL News After Dark. And yo, man, woo! Hey, that beat, hey, drop that beat, hey. All right, man. Anyway, man, before I get out of here, man, and send this over to the Press Pass Live and the fellas, man, another week in the books. Madden launched. It wasn't a great launch, but it launched, and you know yeah, bruh, we about to get rolling here soon. About a month out, I'm almost certain. About a month out, maybe 2-3 weeks. But it all depends on Madden, bruh. Like, fix your stuff, bruh. But anyway, man, I'm on the Grown Folks OC, or not the OC. I'm actually on the Grown Folks Discord channel. And there's a lot of stuff, man. A lot of stuff, the interesting reads. But right now, the biggest one, of course, is Nate actually kicking off a Madden holiday stream, which he actually, did, do a couple streams. A couple days ago when it launched, but he was doing some holiday giveaways. So definitely get on the Grown Folk YouTube channel, like it, subscribe, and follow, because man, my boy Nate pumps out more content than anybody here. You feel me? But other than that, man, a lot of leagues is asking for more and more bodies. So let me get in this community chat real quick and see what's popping off. It looks like NBC League is getting ready to post a little test one. Deuce still has a couple openings. I think the TFL still has some openings. But man, if you coming to join the grown folk community, man, it's real simple. Act like a fucking adult. Play your fucking games. And and just come and have a good old time, bro. Because, I mean, we ain't just playing football. We got baseball. We got shooters. We got everything. So, get on over here and check us out. But I'm done. I'm out. I'm about to go ahead and transfer this bad boy thing over to grown folk Nate and whoever he's got co-starring with him tonight. But, yeah, man. With that being said, let me go ahead and get out of here. Got to set up my sound effect. Let me get on out of here real quick because my time is up. I'm out of this piece. And as always, man, peace, love, and motherfucking hair grease. I'm out. Peace. Let's go. Let's go.
This is the OMFL.
You can't touch this.
And you're in the mix with Kinda Real Name. Here's another OMFL production.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Press Pass Live, your weekly podcast show for the OMFL. I am so glad that you're here. I am glad that my guy Winivus is with me tonight. So let's not, without any further ado, let's just bring Winivus right on in here. Winivus, how you doing tonight, bud?
I'm awake for this podcast. I'm awake, I promise. I'm here. How you doing tonight?
I'm good, bud. I'm glad that you're here. We're going to run through the NFC imports and possible storylines. It should be a ton of fun. The chat is already rocking and rolling. Thank you, Brady, for some OMFL news. It was super late, though. I had to scramble to get that bad boy in, but we got it in. We got it done. You guys are hanging out with me. Lots of issues with the camera. I took the camera with me to Houston to try to take some photos. I quickly realized that even though I've learned how to do video with it, photos is like a whole nother universe one of this, and I just like floundered with it the whole weekend. But it was just fun to have my nice camera. But then I come and hook everything up. You know, you think, okay, I unplugged it, I brought it with me, I came back, I plug it back up, it should work perfect. Nay, that is not how it worked. It was not perfect. It did not work the way it was supposed to. It was not plug and play. But we're here finally. We got it done. And now we're just going to jump into it. So without any further ado, because I want to leave some time at the very end to talk about Madden release and the giveaways that we're doing and all the fun stuff that we're doing right now. So let's just go jump in. So my face is going to disappear, which is probably not a bad thing for any of us. And then we're going to show the videos one by one. You will still hear both one of us and I, but you will not see either one of us. So let's go ahead and get over there. Let's see if this will work the way I want it to work. just because I'm saying that. It probably will not work the way that I want it to work and the way that I planned for it to work. Vikes, I always say, I read the names of one of us, even though my brain is telling me that's not what their name is. But Trey is talking about the amazing AEW CM Punk pop. And then there was a really good WWE pay-per-view this weekend, SummerSlam. And so lots of WWE wrestling talk. And I love wrestling, so it'll be fun to talk about that. All right, let's get over there. All right, first up, Winnibus. We're going to show the NFC West. So let's check out the NFC West. What's up, Kev? Let's check out the NFC West and see who is bringing who over here to the NFC West. First up, Bill and the Seattle Seahawks. Good to see Bill going back over to the NFC. Looks like he's taking a big boy. He's taking Marcus Ellis, linebacker, out of Michigan. It looks like he is not a first-year rookie because Ross explained to me the guys are the number one. It means that they're rookies from the last draft. Shocks fan and his LA Rams taking over Cameron Morris, a quarterback that he drafted in the last season. I love this kid. I wanted him. Great pick here for the Rams. D-Money. I'm pretty sure this is a cornerback. There's no way it's not. Manny Drake, cornerback, number 26 from Arkansas, coming over to the Arizona Cardinals. And then finally, but not least, Double No. And the San Francisco 49ers had an amazing set of drafts last year. He's taken Damon Green, cornerback, out of Illinois. And that is going to be it for the NFC West. And that's a hell of a couple of guys there. D-Money started this one of his last Madden go out and get 3 or 4 completely shut down fast cornerbacks and then dare somebody to pass, play the safety, crash the line on every play to stop the run, and then good luck figuring that out. So there you go. You can see that it is caught on. People are fast learners here in the OMFL. They catch on really, really fast, and you can see a lot of cornerbacks coming. What do you think about some of those teams and the players that they're taking over with them?
I think the head scratcher for me, but I guess it kind of makes sense from a youth perspective, is Shots taking over a QB when you just acquired Stafford in the offseason. I realize Stafford's 32 or 31 at this point, so he's on the downswing. But the guy's still got a pretty good arm still at this stage and some solid accuracy. So I think you could have maybe gotten a quarterback this first year. Well, of course, he doesn't have any first-round picks for the next 85 years, so there is that to think about
Yes.
too.
Which may make that a smart pick.
That's true. The more I talk about it, the more I talk myself out of saying it's not a bad idea. Linebacker for the Seahawks sounds like a good pick. You've got some aging linebackers there. I know KJ Wright is out in Seattle, and then Bobby Wagner's is kind of getting old up there. Maybe he can consider trading him for some value there, but that's not a bad pullover. And then D-Money doesn't surprise me with cornerback. That dude loves cornerbacks all day, every day. I do like Double No pulling over the cornerback and trying to kind of match D-Money in the cornerback category, because that 49ers team out of the box is going to be really talented. So really just bring somebody over to kind of enhance the talent you've already got. I kind of like all those picks. I didn't like the Rams at first, but the more I talked, the less I agreed with myself.
I love when we talk ourselves into certain things. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I will say, out of all of the divisions, this one feels, and maybe the numbers won't quite prove it, but I don't know about you, it feels like the oldest division. Like, this is the time to go, because you got 1 or 2 seasons with these teams, and you're going to have to start thinking about some serious rebuilds. You've got some guys in the high 20s, early 30s. They're going to get old fast on you, especially how progression runs. You got the Seahawks. They're going to have a lot of money tied into Jamal Adams. You've got Russell Wilson, who's already taking a lot of that money. The 49ers, you already got your quarterback coming over there, so you got some potential. But, like, Kittle's getting up in age. That defense is aging. A lot of money invested into your middle linebacker. And then when you look at the Rams, they're all old as all get out, right? And so you got like now to go. This feels like the division where the best player has the youngest team, the most cap flexibility. It could be a really long season for 00, for Bill, and for Shocks. I mean, just D. Wayne has the youngest team. He's bringing over a stud cornerback, already a really good defense. He's going to have a lot of cap flexibility. And, I know D. Wayne, he can win with almost any quarterback. He's probably going to go and move his young quarterback without having to eat up that contract. He's going to get a lot of assets. Man, it just feels like the rest of these teams are playing from behind, no?
Well, I mean, when D-Money is involved, you're always playing from behind. It almost feels like every game he jumps into, he's got a 14-point lead before he even starts the opening kickoff. So, I know you said D. Wayne a couple of times, but it's D-Money.
You're right.
D-Money is just,
D. Wayne,
that's
D-Money,
okay.
Whatever, vice versa.
Apparently anybody that starts with the letter D is really good in this league, I guess, maybe.
Yes.
I don't know. But, yeah, D-Money is not, and of course he would have the youngest team in that division. So it's just the rich just get richer and richer and richer. And it really is just honestly annoying, but oh well, what are you going to do?
Yeah, go beat him. You don't like it, go stop it. That's pretty much how that works. And that's how the rest is that going to work. So you got to go do something about it. All right, let's get over here and look at some of these other ones. That's not what I'm going to want it to do. Don't do that. Go back where I want. That's where I want you. Let's look at the NFC North. Again, shout out to our guy Ross, who I haven't seen in here lately. Maniac in his Minnesota Vikings. Looks like he's taking over a rookie. Yep, Sheldon Massey, a quarterback. Now, out of UCF, he had a great quarterback at Carolina, but it looks like he's taking his rookie with him. Priest, this probably is a running back because Priest loves running backs.
Really?
Look at that. Oh, a cornerback. Kyle Jett. What a great name for a cornerback.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Colorado. Trey. See you, Trey. We know who this is. Doug Glenn, strong safety out of Louisville. This guy is just amazing. Flat out amazing. And there's our guy Smash, who I seen in the chat a while ago. Looks like he's not taking a rookie. Looks like a linebacker possibly. Yep. Matt Garland, defensive end linebacker out of Mississippi State. I almost said Michigan State. I don't know why, because I definitely know who Mississippi State is, but that's what happens. All right. There is, who did we look at? What is wrong with me? NFC East? North. NFC North. Jeez, there we go. Sorry, friends. It's been a long weekend. I've literally driven like 12 hours this weekend, and it was fast and furious, but we got it done. There's the NFC North. The one that really sticks out to me is Maniac taking over a quarterback. He had a great quarterback. He was going to be up against a fat contract. He was getting older. I think he was pushing like 29, 28, something like that, maybe 30. But that dude was a stud, and he chose not to go with the older quarterback. Instead, draft the best available. I think that guy already went to the Rams, so he kind of took a lesser than. I think he is a normal dev. I could be wrong about that, but I don't know. It just feels like it doesn't fit for a Minnesota Vikings team that has some pieces, but it's not getting any younger anytime soon.
Well, I think it's not getting any younger on defense. Offensively, you've got Dalvin Cook, you've got Justin Jefferson, you've got an aging Adam Thielen on the other side. Obviously, Stefan Diggs has been long gone for a year or two now, but you've still got some weapons there
That defense
on the
is so
offense.
old.
It is old. So I mean, I don't know. Obviously, I don't know what the Vikings were going to be pulling in to begin with, or what pool they had to choose from. But whenever you look at the Minnesota Vikings real life draft, and they draft Kellen Mond in round 3, if I'm not mistaken, I think I probably personally would have rather taken my chances with Kellen Mond
Yep.
out of the box and looked elsewhere, particularly defensively. Again, not knowing what he's pulling from, so it's hard. It's easier for me to say that he may have not had any real good choices, but that would have been one I would have probably looked at on the other end. The rest of those kind of fill spots of need in various areas. I guess with Smash maybe taking that guy over, that transitional piece of edge rusher, maybe he thinks about maybe moving an older Khalil Mack for some assets, or or maybe just put him alongside Khalil Mack and just terrorizing folks. I believe Lions took a strong safety that fits a need for them in that back end
That
in
guy's
real
a
life for the
stud,
Lions.
man. Flat out stud.
And and then Priest taking over cornerback. That's not a bad pickup for him either, because when you said running back, I said really, and because the couple of games I played him, I was wondering if he knew that he had a running back in the backfield because he's always slinging the ball all over the place.
That's the thing about Priest. He's going to throw 65 interceptions, but he's going to draft 4 running backs every single draft. This is the guy I literally watched draft a punter in the second round, and his reasoning was, well, I didn't need anything else. I was like, bro, you were like a 4-win team last year. What do you mean you didn't need anything else? I'm going to come back to Kellen Mond real quick. 67 overall at 22 years old. Not unbuildable, right? Like you can build on that. 85 speed, 88 throwing power. I know you think anything above 60 is going to be good. So 88 is perfectly good. 87 short accuracy. This is a kid you can build around. Like, this is a piece. It would not surprise me if Maniac changes his mind, because we did give an offer that you can change your mind to September 1st. And I think now that he sees Kellen, it would not surprise me if he goes back and looks at that Panthers roster and completely changes his mind, because you can build Kellen Mond.
And I tell you what, if you're not wanting to, I might call you.
Yeah, I may have to change my report. Listen, Trey has kind of owned this division for quite some time. Smash is kind of hit and miss. Depends on what happened to the quarterback situation. He's got his quarterback already this year. He knows how to build a really, really good defense. So he's going to be sinking his money in there. He's going to have a defense that is going to make him proud. Can he get enough on the offensive side of the ball? He's definitely got a couple of receiver options, but I think it's going to take him a season or two to kind of find that groove and kind of find that footing. When you look at Trey, all right, he can win with Goff. I know Goff is like the butt of everyone's jokes. In Madden, Trey can win with Goff. He's got good running backs. He's got some playmakers at receiver, and he's going to have a defense that I think is probably going to be the best, maybe like fighting for the best right there with the Bears. But then we look at Maniac, right? Maniac's got to get this quarterback situation figured out. Either way he goes, neither of these are going to be day one like awesome players. It's going to take him a season to build them. He can turn the ball over a lot. He's got an aging receiving core. That defense is so stinking old. I see the Vikings a rebuild. If you don't win season 1, it's a rebuild. And then you got the Packers and Priest. And we know Priest, right? Like, if I've always said it, I've told him this, if Priest would just focus and stop turning the stupid ball over, he'd be a 10-win team here. I mean, he's a good player. He just can't help himself sometimes when it comes to turning the ball over. Who wins this division? I know that you're new here and you're learning some of these players, but can Maniac, come from the South and start to compete? Is this a full rebuild in your eyes? Is, Smash got enough pieces on offense to compete with Trey? Or is it going to be what the NFC North, again, I know you're relearning the history here because you've been gone for a bit. The NFC North has been like the division that no one has wanted to win forever. And then Trey showed up and just started like championship after championship after championship. I just see that's happening even more again.
Well, I mean, I'm considering out of the box going into Madden 22, obviously with the import added in there. I'm struggling to think of at the wide receiver position who Trey would have in Detroit, because obviously you lose Galladay. You lose Galladay in the offseason. You lose, I believe you lost Marvin Jones as well. You do have that kid from Iowa, Hawkinson, at tight end. But other than that,
Stud.
I struggle to. I
You got
struggle to see
Brashad
any other.
Perriman. 93 speed, 92 acceleration. For Madden, that's a receiver that's going to get open. That's a receiver that you can make things happen with. You got Hawkinson. You got Perriman. He's got Terrell Williams. Not sexy, but 91 speed, 90 acceleration, 83
And that's a big wide receiver too. So
I mean,
I believe
you're not gonna be putting up 45 points, but you don't need to with that defense.
Yeah, if the defense comes to play, I mean, if he can get into the mid to high 20s, he can probably hold his own. The thing that would scare me is the Packers with all their weapons. I know that Priest is turnover prone, from what I understand. So that would be the downfall.
Yeah.
I think it's going to come down probably because a lot of those teams kind of are right there with each other. I think really, you look at quarterbacks in that division. Basically, everybody's kind of similar in quarterbacks except for the Packers with Aaron Rodgers. Everybody else is kind of in that middle end, trying to find a guy to take over for him. Goff is probably the most polished of the other remaining three in the division, and he's 27, I believe, at this point. I would lean towards, whenever you come in brand new out of the box, you lean towards your user skills and you look at the guys who are good users. And from what I understand, Trey is probably the best user in the division, so you lean toward the best user in the division. So I would probably lean Trey's way in the Detroit Lions just because, taking everything out of the box and saying, okay, here's your teams. I feel like stick skills are going to be the most important thing in year one, coming out of the box, especially if you can't or choose not to make many trades.
I think he's going to be loaded at safety. He's going to use some of those assets to move around. He's got some speed at receiver, not a lot, but enough to make plays. He's got speed at cornerback. Look, it's not a super sexy roster. I think roster-wise, it's going to be Maniac. He's got the big question at quarterback. Like, what is he going to do at quarterback? And I've played with Maniac before when he doesn't have a quarterback. And he just doesn't have rhythm without a quarterback. Priest, I just don't, until Priest shows me, he's never going to stop turning the ball over, right? Right there. You heard that? He just threw another pick. Like in his at work, he throws picks. He just can't help himself. And Smash is, I love you, Smash. I know you're watching right now, but he's a head case. And I mean that in like when he has a couple of things go against him, it just isn't, it like clicks out. And I don't know. This is going to be an interesting division. It is a division though. If you're going to win, now's the time to do it because Detroit's going to make moves. He's going to get more assets. He's got the next 72 years of Rams picks. I love Loss, but I think Loss is going to be an 8-8 team, a sub-500 team. That's going to be a good pick. Man, I just see the Lions being able to build another powerhouse. All right, let's get over here and look at a couple more of these. We're going to move over to my division, the NFC South, and look at who our guys are bringing over. Our guy Kobe with the Atlanta Falcons. Look like he's taking over a linebacker, possibly. No, cornerback Devon Royal, number 34, out of West Virginia. My New Orleans Saints. I don't know why this guy has a number 1, because he's not a rookie. Oops. Deion McCarthy, quarterback out of South California, not Carolina. That would not be the same SC. Big Hurt in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Taking over Addison Young. I think McCarthy had number 1 because his real number is number 1, which throws that whole gimmick off. So, sorry about that. Panther Nation moving over to the Carolina Panthers. He has taken over a rookie, Stephen Belton, strong safety out of the U, coming over to Carolina to help Panther Nation rebuild that roster, which I'm going to just say up front is Trey's in the. Trey does this. All right, I'm gonna let you in a little secret as you're learning, everybody. When Trey plays the world's largest violin about himself, just wah, 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 wah. Sorry, Trey, you don't have the worst roster. That would belong to the Carolina Panthers. He has the world's worst.
I would
roster.
say the Texans probably have the worst, but the Panthers are
Ooh,
definitely
good point.
bottom 5.
Good point.
The
No,
Panthers
good
are definitely
point.
bottom 5.
It's bad. It's really really bad. Sorry, my deal is freaking out a little bit, but I got it fixed. Yeah, that offensive line is terrible. But those are the imports coming over. Look, Big Hurt has kind of owned this division. When Kobe's plugged in, he is such a good player. But ever since Dwayne first, D-Money second, both of those guys left the South, it's kind of opened up who the champion is over here, and it's kind of given some opportunities for other teams to kind of step up. Give me one quick second. I gotta mute this game because it's gonna drive me insane with all this music playing. There's some opportunities here. Big Hurt's been quite a bit unplugged for a bit because of real life stuff, not of his own choosing. You've got Maniac is now gone. Panther Nation, brand new to the OMFL, is getting over here. You guys have seen me around here long enough. You know what I am. I'm an 8-8 team. Every now and then I get lucky and squeeze into the playoffs. This is just an up in the air division. None of the teams feel super solid outside of Tampa. But even then, I tend to think he's going to have some kind of issues with that cap. I don't know how he's not going to have cap issues. What kind of comes to mind when you see some of these imports and think about the NFC South?
Well, I think honestly, I think the person that might regret their import the most might be the person that's currently on the podcast with me, because I do see why you took a quarterback over who was a stud quarterback. I believe he's in the mid to high 90s, isn't he, overall wise?
Yeah.
Okay, so I understand that, but I do believe he is, a year or two away from a big boy contract. And you have Alvin Kamara signed for 5 years. You have Michael Thomas signed for about that much. You have Cameron Jordan that's got another couple years. You should know very well as a Saints fan that you have cap problems. I probably would have tried to win with Jameis out the box personally. And see if you could maybe get one more good run out of that Saints team as it is right now, because the team in real life and in OMFL is due for a rebuild pretty soon. Unfortunately, they're aging. They've got aging. Their quality on defense is aging. Their offensive line is good in spots and young in some spots, but it's really old in some of the really good spots, and that's scary with Teron Armstead, who gets injured, walking to his car. So that's a worry. You've got Alvin Kamara back there, but you won't have a lot of money for depth. I know you got Latavius Murray still there, but what happens whenever he wants a big boy contract and you can't fork it out? I don't know. I don't know if quarterback would have been the way I would have gone. I understand why you did it. I don't know if that'd have been the way I would have gone with it. Now, the rest of the division, I think Tampa, you're giving them a lot of credit. They will have some cap issues, but they do have a lot of aging pieces too, especially that guy that, what's his name? He's got the number 12. He
Tom,
seems to be around.
I think it's Tom.
Oh, Tom? Is it Tom McCraney or something? Something like that. Yeah. But
I think he's married to the world's best prostitute or something. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Is that what it is? Okay, yeah. Okay. Wasn't he famous for something about low balls or something like that? It was something.
Like
okay. But all right, enough Tom Brady jokes. But I think because in this game, Brady's going to retire probably year one, and he has no quarterback after that. He's going to have a couple of aging wide receivers. I know Mike Evans is still really quality, but he's also getting up there. Now, Godwin's still pretty good, and he's still fairly young. You've got some younger tight ends, but your offensive line is kind of shaky in spots. Defensively, you've got some aging players there. You've got Sue, you've got Pierre-Paul. You do have some young pieces in, don't they have Devin Bush, I believe? at middle linebacker? I'm trying to remember. Is it White? Devin White is
Devin
in.
White.
Devin White's in
Yeah.
Tampa? Because I know one of
And
them is in Pittsburgh and one of them's in Tampa.
he's got
and they're both
Levante
named Devin.
David and Devin White at middle linebacker. He's got Barrett on the outside, and he's got Pierre Paul
On the other
So
side.
I guess they're running a 3-4 in Madden.
Yeah, they are. They are. That's the way they're set up in real life. But Pierre Paul's old. David's getting up there in age. You've got a couple of aging pieces in the secondary. So it's a team that's kind of their window's starting to close as well. Even though they've got a lot of talent, a lot of high overalls, that window's going to close too. And when it closes, then the division becomes a wide open sprint. Now, I will say the Panthers, having played them in a preseason game with you at the Sticks, playing against us, the Colts, I believe. I think it was Colts and Panthers in preseason.
It was tough.
It was rough. It was rough. And Brinson Buckner, my interior defensive lineman, made mincemeat of that offensive line in Carolina.
And
that's going to be a
we
problem.
lowered pass block, because that was at 50 where no one else was getting any pressure, and you were on me every single play. And now that it's been lowered, there's no way. Good luck, Panther Nation.
Yeah, it's going to be rough. And I think Atlanta's biggest problem, the Falcons, or as I will call them from here on out, the fail clowns, their biggest problem is going to be the Matt Ryan contract. It's a boat anchor. It is a boat anchor, and it's not going anywhere. And Matt Ryan is not good enough. Matt Ryan you might get 1 year out of Matt Ryan, and after that, it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough to get any more than a year. And I believe he's got at least 3, if not 4 more years left on his deal. And cutting him is going to be a severe cap penalty. So it's like, do you just take your poison now, or do you try and wait a year and soften the cap blow a little bit and cut him in the offseason of year 1? Or what do you do? Because you're not going to win. You need a quarterback, and you're going to have to probably draft one unless you get lucky in free agency and find one that you can develop real quick for a year. A guy that comes to mind that I would probably look at personally that I know is going to be in the free agent market. I don't know if anybody else would be looking at him, but like a Josh Rosen, 23, 24 years old. Drop him. You can look at the 49ers roster and see him. He's got, I believe, 88 or 89 throw power, solid accuracy across the board. Still very young. He's normal dev, but he's a 66 overall right now. He's got decent enough speed to get out of the pocket. He'd be a good guy to build around, or at least take a flyer on. If you're definitely not going to play Matt Ryan, I don't think there's anybody else on that Falcons roster that could even consider starting at quarterback. And then you got to think, let's see, who do they even have at running back now? Because Freeman's gone. Who do they have at running back? Jeez, I don't even remember.
We're talking about the Packers? I mean, Packers.
No, the Falcons.
Falcons. Let me get over there.
And then obviously no Julio.
Mike Davis.
Mike Davis is pretty solid.
And Caleb Huntley.
Yeah, not exactly.
Everybody 90 and lower when it comes to speed.
Yeah, it's not exactly going to incite a lot of confidence in the running back room. And then your wide receivers, they do have Ridley is pretty good. I had him on the Summer League roster. Gage is okay. Gage is okay, but after that, it falls off a cliff. So Kyle Pitts is going to be your man. Kyle Pitts is really good.
He's a stud.
The 2 tight ends are really good. But you've also got to consider rules around, tight end usage too. So,
Kyle Trask, is he buildable?
Give me some numbers and I'll tell you.
Yeah. We've got 72 speed, which is way slower than what I thought that they would give him. Not that I thought he was a burner, but
right.
I thought he was faster than 72. We get 84 throwing power, 86 short accuracy, 77 medium, and 78 deep.
He's actually better than Matt Ryan then, or he's equal in throw power, because I think Matt Ryan's 84 as well.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's why I say that Matt Ryan contract is a boat anchor. Because when I played in the summer league, Matt Ryan's throw power was 84, and there were a couple of pick sixes I threw where if I had 87 or 88 throw power, they're not pick sixes. So you got to be really, really conservative with your offense with Matt Ryan or even Kyle Trask. I would probably want somebody in the mid to high 80s throw power. That would be about minimum. Once you start getting below 85 in Madden, it it can be painful because especially with default settings, those corners break so quick.
Yep.
On anything, and so I don't think I would want to build up Trask. I would look for somebody. I'd maybe take a flyer, like I said, on a Josh Rosen which he should be available in free agency, or just look in free agency and find you somebody that you might could suffer with for a year, or just suffer with Matt Ryan for a year and just go for the best quarterback in the draft coming into year one, because it's going to be painful for Atlanta. It's going to be painful for Carolina. It's pretty much year one. It's a 2-horse race. It's Saints and Bucks. And I'm not saying that because you got the Saints. I'm saying it because talent-wise on paper, that's the two teams that are going to be out the gate. They're going to have the rosters to compete right out the gate. And unless the Falcons can work some magic as far as the waiver wire / free agency / trades, or Carolina for that matter, it's going to be a real long season for those two teams. They're going to be fighting to stay out of the basement, I feel like.
Maniac, I see you in chat. We'll be praying for the little man. Hope all is well. Great thing is that young kids usually bounce back pretty quickly from COVID. Kobe is in the chat, and supposedly he is one of the several teams that have already asked about Mons. Guys, I'm just going to say it up front. I am not against the chat. I'm not against talks. Please don't start making deals. People get all butthurt. Give everybody an opportunity. Let people get the game. Let's start playing a little bit before you start agreeing to deals, and then somebody else would have offered you a better deal, and then somebody backs off of it. Let's just have talks, have fun, but let's not be agreeing to deals just yet, because I don't even know what we're going to use to figure out deals. Here is what Kobe said, though, is that he's going to build Felipe Franks, which is interesting to me. 82 speed, 85 acceleration, 90 throwing power, 76 short accuracy, 70 medium, and 74 deep accuracy. Not nearly as bad. 58 overall, which isn't wonderful, but not nearly as bad as I thought in some of those key core categories. Yeah. Do you think you can build Felipe Franks?
I think Franks is a much better option. The quarterback overalls are weighted so heavily on awareness, which is a useless stat in Madden anyway for quarterbacks. It's for user quarterback, it doesn't matter, because I'm the awareness of my. I could have Tom Brady and 99 overall, and in my hands, Tom Brady would be like a 25 overall, 25 awareness. Yeah. It doesn't matter. So it's basically just to weight the overall to make them look better or worse. So you listen to those stats essentially, depending on how Kobe builds his playbook and gets his offense set up. I'm assuming he'd probably try and work a little run option in there, or a little read option, a little RPO action in there. That's the kind of things I would do with Felipe Franks with that mobility. The only thing I would worry about with Felipe Franks is if I ran the read option, run heavy route, a la poor, very, very poor man's Lamar Jackson. The thing I would worry about.
Poor.
Huh?
Dollar store version.
Yeah, a dollar store version. There you go. Wish version. Yeah. But I would worry about injury with that. So because the other quarterbacks are not mobile. So essentially, if you go that route, you got to be aware of slide, get out of bounds. Don't get hit, because if you get hit,
slide quick. Because if you are late on that slide button this Madden, you're going to get popped.
Yes, I'm aware of that because it happened to Carson Wentz a few times, and Carson Wentz is fumble prone. So
part of me, so I'll give my theory before we go to our next one. Part of me hopes first that Ian Book gets a little bump in this throwing power, because I would love to keep him. Jameis Winston I will keep unless somebody blows me away with a great offer, because I can win with him, and I'd love to have him if I can afford him, just on my backup, and just have a quarterback that I never have to think about the rest of this man. But Ian Book in real life is a guy that I think has a lot of potential for the Saints in that offense, and just 82 throwing power, I can't do anything with that. So fingers crossed that Madden gives him a little bump before we get started in throwing power. Here's my theory on imports and my struggle. There's two key factors. I'll add in sort of a third. Number one, he's got to be under 30. The only disclaimer to that is he's a stud player in a key position. right? If we're talking skill position, quarterback, maybe receiver, even though I do think receivers are a dime a dozen. Cornerback, safety, maybe, like a linebacker, key position, over 30, maybe. Under 30, passes the first block. Second block, the Devo has to be star or above. Like, I just can't take a normal guy unless there are no other options. If you have two players that are close, and one's an X factor and one's a normal, like, to me, it's not even a question. You have to take the X factor guy. You got to take the guy that's going to add the most to your team. You're going to get the most development out of. That was my problem with this past Saints team. I had a lot of good, solid drafts, but my best player was a guy that I took from last Madden, defensive end / defensive tackle, Pickney, who I took him last Madden because he was my best player. He was a stud, but defensive line since last Madden has been like buffed a lot, and they just don't make a big impact, like, unless you have a superstar. And it just wasn't going to be Pickney. He was already over 30. He was already making fat contract. I think he was going to be up for his second contract, so I couldn't bring him. And so then it came down to my younger guys. A lot of my younger guys were normal dev. And I just struggled with, it came down to 3 guys. A cornerback I drafted in the last draft, normal dev, all like low 70s coverage, but he had like 94, 95 speed. And I may even go look at him again because I can change my mind too. My quarterback, McCarthy, who I feel like I'm saying his name wrong, but tonight it's McCarthy. And then a receiver that I drafted 3 seasons ago who was a normal dev, but he had like 92 speed, 95 acceleration, great route running, 80s catch. The problem with him, normal dev, he was up for contract, so his rookie deal was over. I was going to have to give him a fat contract, and he had the drop C's last Madden and lost a playoff game because he dropped like 6 passes. And so it was like, I just felt like I had no choice. Look, Saints needed a quarterback. Wasn't sure what Winston was going to look like. We knew Hill was going to be crap in Madden, so it's like, just bring him over. Luckily, we all got like some help when it came to salary cap. So I don't know. I may go look at it again, but I feel like it's still, as of right now, was the right decision. All right, let's see our last one. Go ahead.
I was going to say, yeah, I mean, sometimes you got to pick the best of a bad choice.
Yeah. I just didn't have good enough drafts to have more options. All right, let's look at the NFC East. This one's going to be fun. Let's go ahead and look and see who guys are bringing over with them. Kicking us off, we got the Washington football team and Rob. He is not bringing over a first-year guy. He's bringing over Jared Peters, cornerback, number 42 out of Nebraska. There's that cornerback thing again. Mr. Kevin taking over his Eagles. He is taking a stud. I already know this one. Darren Mitchell, middle linebacker. This guy's fast. He hits hard. This is going to be a great player out of TCU for him. Papper and his New York Giants is bringing over a non-sexy pick, but one that I think is going to make that offensive line a stud. Christopher Tanner, an offensive lineman from Texas Tech, coming to solidify what should be one of the best offensive lines in the OMFL. And then our guy, D. Wayne, with the Dallas Cowboys. Maxwell Bass, a tight end out of Stanford, coming over to the Dallas Cowboys. And that is going to be what the NFC East looks like. I'm going to say it up front. The one that shocks me the most is taking over a tight end. He may be, I could have this wrong, but as far as I know, off the top of my head, he might be the first tight end ever to go in the import draft. That's a bit of a shocker to me. Tight ends feel like you just find one off the street. Just make sure he's got some decent speed and you'll be okay. But he decided to use up his import to bring over tight end. He's already kind of tied to his quarterback's new contract, and so he's kind of solid there. He's got a lot of other pretty big contracts, and so That one's a little bit interesting to me. The cornerbacks are still a thing here in the OMFL, and you can see Rob is definitely knowing he's got to compete with those top guys. He's going to need some cornerbacks. What do you think about the NFC East?
I think all of those are actually pretty solid picks, even the one from Dallas. I like the cornerback pick in Washington because they've got a lot of youth in their front seven in real life. Some secondary help is never a bad thing, especially in the OMFL. Maybe could have considered a quarterback if he had one, but I don't have any problem taking over a cornerback. As far as Pepper, he and I had talked about because whenever I came in, he kind of gave me some pointers about the Seattle team I took over and then lovingly moved out of. Thank you, Bill, again for that, by the way. I will thank Bill every day until the day I pass for swapping with me. I was not looking forward to losing to D-Money 8 times in a Madden. But anyway, Pepper had talked to me about his pick, and it makes sense. The Giants, you've got Saquon Barkley. Protect your investment in Daniel Jones, at least for now, and Saquon. You've got a lot of big wide receivers. You've got a lot of talent on offense. Just let's get some holes open for these guys. And, yeah, it's not a sexy pick, but I'm okay with a non-sexy pick there. Dallas taking over the tight end really doesn't surprise me because he's got his quarterback locked up. He's got a good core of wide receivers. He's got Ezekiel Elliott back there. From what I understand and a little bit I've seen of his play, he's basically a run guy. He's going to run it and dare you to stop it. And the Dallas Cowboys fit that to a T. You don't need really any offensive linemen for that setup. And he plays good, solid defense and can get the pieces he needs from what I understand. So take something, a luxury pick, so to speak, for Dallas. And the Eagles, I believe, is the last team I haven't mentioned. Yeah, the Eagles. The Eagles are one of those teams that are definitely going to be in that same vein as the Panthers and Texans. Their roster's bad. Their roster's really bad. There is not a lot of – you got Fletcher Cox, who is, I think, 30 at this point. You've got Darius Slay, who is still a good player, and I believe you've got another corner they signed to be a nickel corner that's rated pretty highly. But after
Maddox.
That's it, Avonte Maddox. And then after that, the overalls and players just fall off a cliff. His middle linebackers, I think his highest, at least on Madden right now, I believe is like a 66 or a 67 overall. And I don't think they're –
Eric Wilson's 85, 89. Behind him is Devon Taylor, who I had in my last Madden. I loved him. 89, 91. His middle linebackers are Goodson, 81, 87. Singletary, 85, 87. And his left outside linebacker, Shaquem Griffin, who in Madden is going to be an awesome linebacker. 91, 91. Like, his linebackers are really, really fast.
Yeah, but unfortunately – while speed is good, speed is good to have, but the problem is you can only use her one of them. I mean, you can't use her all three of them. So having some talent on the other two spots that you don't use her would be ideal. And unfortunately, it doesn't matter who he uses. There's going to be some deficiencies of talent there. Yeah, they can run to the play, but what are they going to do when they get there? You know, is it going to bounce off the back of their head? Hopefully, I mean that's what you're hoping for. But and then obviously, offensively speaking, it's oof. Miles Sanders. That's pretty much the only guy I could think of. You got an aging offensive line, and that's putting it nicely. That's overpaid. Because I thought about asking him if he wanted to swap, and then I realized Dwayne was in that division, so I was like, I'm not gonna make an offer to swap. I don't want to be nice. I'm not that nice. So, but yeah, I looked at the Eagles, and the Eagles are going to be a really, really tough team to start out of the gate with it. And I wish Kevin well, and hopefully this middle linebacker, if he's not his user, will help him kind of get off as far as getting to a guy that he can use her well and kind of wreak some havoc, because that's the only way he's going to be able to be successful is just to wreak havoc on defense.
First, Kevin, I worked out a deal for Avonte last man, so I'd love to come talking. The rest of you stay away from Kevin, okay? So, Kevin, we got to talk. I don't disagree with you, but like, yes, the offensive line is old, but they're very good on the right side.
Yes, they're still good. Yes,
middle to right, they're
good.
Very, very good.
Yes.
You've got speed at linebacker. Yes, you're right. You got to make plays when you get there, but and Madden speed does, especially at linebacker, help with filling gaps, getting guys who bounce around here. Now, against the Dwayne, good luck, right? Because Dwayne's going to punch you right in the mouth. I don't care about your speed because I'm coming right downhill at you. Stop it. He's got really fast cornerbacks. He's got, some decent safeties. I mean, they're not the best, but they're decent. Kenny Vaccaro, Anthony Harris. They're in those high 70s, low 80s. He's got Sanders at running back. He's got a decent, an okay fullback. He's got some receivers. You got Devontae Smith. You got Jalen Rigger. You got Dorsett. Again, a lot of speed here on this team.
I did forget about Devontae Smith.
And so I
forgot they drafted him.
It has some potential. I just don't know that it sets up well for Kevin. Hurt's going to be tough. Like, he can play, clearly, but he's still 71 overall. He's got an 84 throwing power. So, because you know how to play with quarterbacks with lower throw power, but there's some throws you can't make. And if you're late, hang it up. You're going to be throwing picks all night long. I think if Kevin can adapt his gameplay to fit this team, he'll be well. Look, Dallas is loaded out the box. He's going to be ready to rock and roll. But I think what hurts Dwayne is that he doesn't make a lot of moves. He doesn't make a lot of trades. And that roster is just going to get old on him really, really quick. And then Rob, let's go look at him real quick. But what are you doing at quarterback? You got Ryan Fitzpatrick. You got Kyle Allen and Taylor Hinsky. Not a whole lot there that gets you excited early in the morning to log in and play some Madden. He's got some decent running backs. I like Gibson a lot. Of course, Terry McLaurin is a star, and he's got Samuel right behind him, Kuti right behind him, Sims. Like, he's got plenty of playmakers over there. What's this offensive line look like? Yeah, average, but in this league, perfectly fine. He's going to have a great defense. This defensive line, man. Sweat at 84, Young at 88, Allen at 91, Payne at 89, and then behind them is Adonis, or however you say his name, 88. Oh my goodness, that defensive line is unfreaking believable. He's got some speed at linebacker and some playmakers. I mean, they're going to need some building up. They're mid-low 70s, but he's got plenty of speed, so he's just got to work on the other stuff for those. And then you look at cornerback, right? 89 Kyler Fuller, 90 speed. William Jackson, 86 overall, 93 speed. He's bringing this cornerback over. I think that the Washington football team should be the team that really competes with Dwayne, especially out of the box season 1, because he seems to have the most ready team if he can figure out the quarterback position. But to me, you got to go make a trade. I mean, I don't know. You seem to be a quarterback whisperer. Can you win with Ryan Fitzpatrick? Because I don't see how you can win with these other two cats.
Well, I mean, Fitzmagic is Fitzmagic. So, I mean, I know that he has, I believe he's in the low 80s on throw power. I think he's 84,
86.
83. Is he 86? Wow.
Yep. Dude, I noticed this. He has an $11 million cap hit.
Yeah, he's getting paid.
So I'd be embarrassed.
Yeah, he's getting paid this year. But I think that for 1 year you could win with him. The problem's going to be, I would personally be digging through the dumpster trying to find somebody to develop behind him.
Yeah.
And throw him every week as my focus player, because I wouldn't go Ryan Fitzpatrick more than a year, because I believe he's 38 at this point. I believe that's how. Yeah, he's 38. So this is the best you're going to get out of him, and it's only going to be downhill if he doesn't retire year 1.
This is what makes me feel old real quick. I didn't mean to cut you off. This is what makes me feel old, because you're right here with me. We're older than Ryan Fitzpatrick, who's literally been in the league since Moses and who looks like he's 98. We're older than him, when that's unbelievable. I gotta go to bed.
And it's not even close. It's
No,
we're
it's
we're like
not.
yeah we got a couple
We
of
were-
years of seniority on him.
Yeah, we were in school when he was born.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, but yeah,
Hey,
it's yeah.
Tom
and-
Brady's older than us, though.
Whew, thank God. Okay, that makes me feel slightly better. So
Well, there you have it. There are your imports, your storylines, and some thoughts about what we think is going to happen in the OMFL. Imports are done. Hall of Fame is not. I promise you, though, this week I will work on the Hall of Fame. Took my mom out to an Astros game for her birthday, and I just had a fantastic time. But I also limited the amount of time that I had to work on stuff this weekend. I got to work the Saints game tomorrow. So if you watch the Saints game, look for old Nate on the sidelines. I'll be wearing my trusty new Astros hat. Let's talk before we go, though, about Madden. Madden release date came out. If you have not jumped into our competition, I think you still have, I can't remember now if it was 11 o'clock Central or midnight Central, but I think you might have 30 more minutes left to go get into the giveaways that we're doing. We're giving away a new PlayStation 5 controller. We're giving away 2 Grown Folks t-shirts. If you're in a league here, we can even give you one from your specific league. And then we're also giving away a Spider-Man game. I was hoping we'd get our hands on some more stuff, but we just didn't. And I didn't have the time to really work at it. So we'll be doing those first thing tomorrow. I got to work full day tomorrow, but I will go ahead and pick the winners and announce them on Twitter tomorrow and reach out to those people. So if you didn't jump in, make sure you do that. We've had a lot of people helping us towards our subscription goal, but had a 5.5 hour stream on Madden Holiday. I was wore out. I really was like physically tired after doing 5 hours of streaming. But when you've got to play a little bit, you and I talked about it a little bit. It's a broken game right now, but overall thoughts about Madden and the release.
oh boy, you gonna let me lead, huh?
Yeah.
You okay? The enthusiasm I had for the new franchise mode has been soured.
Yeah.
Not greatly, but not just slightly, by the utter ball dropping of the launch and just the amount of things in every single mode that's been broken, and to the point where like literally they've dropped before the game even released nationwide on the 20th. They had already dropped 2 patches, and they dropped a third on the 20th.
Yeah.
So they have had 3 patches for this game before it's even launched, and the cover 2 zones are still very wonky. The cover 3 zones are still awful. The only things you can really play with any efficiency is cover 4, and even that's kind of a crapshoot. So basically, if you don't play man coverage 100% of the time, which obviously we can't do in our rule set, you're gonna be giving up some big plays. And that's just like it's head scratching how a company that makes literally billions of dollars can release a game of this magnitude, being the only game that represents the sport that it represents, and do it so badly. And unfortunately, if we want to partake of it, we have to buy it. And I think it's telling if you go on Twitter, if you went on Twitter before launch, the inundation of Twitter accounts that said, "Hey, we have an MVP edition codes for Xbox and for PlayStation, and hey, hit us up and retweet us." The amount of tweets I got from developers and folks that I see Moody talking. Yeah, it does probably sound a little bit like Moody. I'm sorry. But the amount of
I think you're being nice.
Creators,
and you know me.
I'll
tell you when you're not being nice. You're being nice right now.
I am really trying. I am really trying to put the Susie Sunshine on it, but it's a lot of rain. There's a lot of rain here. But the amount of content creators that have been pushing those codes, and they're pushing MVP codes that are basically $100 versions of the game, like $90 versions of the game, and they're pushing those codes out like they're candy. And it's like, how can you give away your product before it's even launched, globally, you're already giving it away, and you can't even get people to take the codes to give them away.
Yeah.
That's not really a warm and fuzzy feeling in my stomach for that, And I don't know. I think I do like what they did with franchise mode, but the amount of bugs that we currently have in game in every mode scares me to death. Wow, what did you do to your screen?
That's what happens when buttons delay and you hit the wrong button.
But the amount of bugs that we have, it worries me. I'm gonna say right now, I'm very glad that we were waiting a month for that patch to hit for scouting. But I am terrified of what kind of bugs we're gonna find out when we start and get that scouting going. I'm terrified of it because I'm worried we're gonna find some very, very breakable bugs that might get to a point where they frustrate, because I know a lot of you guys, because I didn't play 21. I only played in that summer league for, a couple of weeks, and I didn't pay for Madden 21. And I know when I came in, everybody was pretty much checked out from Madden 21. I'm worried that burnout might kick in a lot quicker, and we might lose some good people because of a bad game. And that sucks.
Yeah, I didn't play it, but I definitely heard, and I had some issues before. Again, it seems to be a little hit and miss, and I think what bothers me the most is I think most of our guys are going to be fine, whatever, and people wrapping up the summer, school's starting, they know that we're waiting, so they'll be fine. I think it's my key core humans here that I actually need to bring some good energy, because they were such crappy energy last Madden, are already taking a turn for the worst, and I'm seeing it. Maniac has turned sour way too quick, and it just sucks because there was a lot of momentum and excitement, and I still think they will get it fixed, and we will get back to, by the time we're actually playing, it'll all kind of come together. But it just, like you said, it undoes all the good things, all the good vibes that were coming into this Madden. It undoes them like that, and that sucks because it had an opportunity to start gaining some momentum. It wasn't all going to come back in 1 year. They've delayed things too much, but now you've put yourself behind the 8 ball, and it's unfortunate. And again, I don't work on that side of things. I don't understand that side of things, but you wonder, like, how do you get here? Like, how do you, when it came out on early release and there were already some issues with EA Play, then some guys got it 3 days before if they bought the expensive version, you're already seeing issues, you're dropping, like, I just don't get, like, why don't you get there quicker? Like, why haven't we already got another update to get it fixed, to get it figured out? And again, I don't work on that side of things. I don't understand those side of things. It's just disappointing. And you and I talked about it, and I think I could be 1,000% wrong. Putting some pieces together that I think I've heard over the years and understood. Madden has a ton of legacy flawed code and flaws, and I think they can't stop and go fix those. They just can't. There isn't that type of time. And they can't hit their full reset button and start from scratch and build a game. There isn't enough time in between games. And so they have to just, like, patch things and then add in and layer in all the new things. And when they do that, it breaks some weird thing, right? And then they got to go chase it. They got to go find it. And I just think they're chasing their tail a little bit. And you and I, talked about it. I think the only way possible, I don't even know if it would happen. The only way possible was if NFL opened up the license to anyone and everyone. Other companies jumped in, or they went the 2K route, which I just don't. WWE and NFL are two different organizations, and I don't see the NFL allowing this. But 2K, they lost the license. WWE took the break, and they took 2 years off, and they're still coming out 6 months after a normal release date for a brand new game that seemed to, like, almost start from scratch. I just don't see the NFL allowing a game to take 2 years off to start from scratch and build a brand new game. So I don't know. I just think that this is where we are. Kevin, that's what we're talking about. Number one, I don't think a year is enough to build a game from the ground up. It just isn't. Like, I just don't know that there's any proof that is a real thing. I think it's 2 to 3 years to build a game from the ground up. And I don't see the NFL allowing their product not to be in gamers' hands for 2 years. I just don't see it.
Well, I will say there is a precedent in other leagues, because now I will also state that the next version of this game hasn't come out yet and may never, but with NBA Live, they released NBA Live 19, EA Sports did, and never came out with NBA Live 20 or the next version of it, because they were not happy with where it was, and they were basically putting it back in the can for development. Now, that could have been because they couldn't compete with 2K's NBA entry, and obviously with competition, there is an NBA game out there in the space for the league to get behind. But I do think if you had a game that was tolerable, an NFL game that was tolerable, you could do something along the lines of having it go for a 2-year cycle. And this is a spitball idea, but like say Madden 22 is that piece. Let's just start with today. Madden 22 is here, and they basically say, you know what, we're not going to release a Madden 23. Okay, so what we'll do is when Madden 23 is slated to come out, we'll drop like a $15 or $20 DLC where you can download an official Madden 23 roster, but for Madden 22. So basically, it does a roster update for you that you pay for, but not the full, the running joke of Madden's just a roster update every year. Literally drop a DLC that is just the roster update, and use that time to patch Madden 22 as best you can, plug the holes as best you can, while simultaneously having a group that's working on new features, a new engine, or not a new engine, but just a new structure from the ground up. And I think you're right. I don't think it can be done in a 2-year dev cycle even, but at least get the foundation. You've got a nice foundation here. If you can figure out a way with that Frostbite engine to port it and then start building your blocking engines and your AI engines and rebuild that stuff. And even if you can get that to a good place, but not the best place, have a better foundation than you have right now. Because what we have right now, at its best, at its absolute best, it is still below average. And that to me, if I was the NFL, that would be unacceptable.
Yep, I agree with you. I got nothing to add. Pepper, you're right. But I think this is the world we live in now. I think the fast and furious pace, the way that companies are created. Again, I'm talking about a bunch of stuff I shouldn't be, because I don't know nothing about it, and it's just the assumptions that can be made of like these are multi-billion-dollar companies that are trying to make the most profit. They have stakeholders, and they have people to make money for, and so they're usually down on skeleton crews, and they're working with not the perfect materials, and so and I also, my personal opinion, I have no proof of this, I just think that we're not giving enough credit to the machine that the NFL is. And I think we blame EA and Madden, and I think the poor devs, they get blamed for everything, when I'd say 98% is not them at all. They're doing the best they can with what they have. I just think the NFL would never allow their product to not be out there. They're the number one organization in the world, and they don't care if it's half finished. They don't care about any of that. It's just they care that there is a Madden with the whatever year behind it out there on the shelves. I would say to you, Maniac, I will always say, I'd say this to anyone, not the single Maniac out. I'm going through the chat and reading things. Your excitement and your positivity or negativity is your choice. And if you're allowing a game to control your emotions, it might be time to hang it up or find something else to do. And if any of you here play here and are either happy or mad or whatever emotion over a game, I think you're kind of missing the point. If I don't want to, I'm not going to speak for when he's here. I can speak for Nate. if I did all of this because of Madden, I would have stopped in 2002. I don't do this because of a great game. It's just so easy to make content. I do this for the guys. I do this for the community, right? Like, that is the reason I play. And you're all right, though, Maniac. It is hard to want to play, because when I played this in beta, I was wanting to play, man. I just found myself wanting to use up all my early access, and I still want to play. I still enjoy the game, and the hope is that they'll get these things fixed. It's to me, though, it feels like the bones are still there. They just didn't hit that home run on day one, and that sucks. But it's over. We're past it. It's launched. We're here. Let's just hope they get it fixed, and that way we can get to playing. So, Win, I'm gonna give it to you one last time. Let's put some closing thoughts. All the imports have been released, and when we come back next week, we'll have the Hall of Fame, and we're even, you and I can even start some rule discussion conversations, because I think there's a lot there from your experience running the WFL and my experience here, and I think they could make for some fun conversation. So a lot of stuff to come here in the future, Press Pass Live and content that we're going to put out. But give me some closing thoughts as you've seen all the imports for Madden 22.
It's a nice crew. I wish I'd have been here for the AFC ones, because I would have liked to talk about mine, but unfortunately I passed out. I did kind of want to piggyback what you were just saying earlier about, the video game dictating, happiness or anger or whatever. And I will say that as someone who ran their own league solo for about 4 Madden cycles, and finally just got exasperated with Madden 20 to the point where I wanted to just strangle people. And literally between bugs, and it was bugs in the game that really were causing my complete, because at that point I couldn't even do content, which is the one thing I wanted to do. Yeah. Because I enjoyed doing the content like this podcast, like articles that I did. I like doing articles. I like doing podcasts. I like doing draft day shows. That's the stuff I really enjoy doing. And when that's taken away from me, that's when I completely unplugged. Yeah. And I had no problem unplugging for a year. I didn't miss Madden 21. And clearly from the reviews and from what I've heard from people and the little bit I played it, I didn't miss much. So pat myself on the back for that one. I got hope for Madden 22 because of the franchise stuff, because they finally gave some love to franchise. And I'm hoping that that franchise love that they finally gave the community, our community, plus hopefully not dealing with any bugs that prevent me from doing content, will keep me going. Will I get frustrated with the game? Yes. I'm not going to even lie. And will I be a sore loser? I probably will be, yes. Go ahead and tell you right now, I probably will be. And if I am, I'm sorry in advance, and I'll apologize afterwards. But in the moment, I will probably be a sore loser. But as long as I can do content that's enjoyable to the community, and you guys that are listening right now, the 6 of you, well, actually 5, because I'm technically one of those. But to the guys that are watching, to the guys that will read and comment on stuff, that's the reason why I still enjoy even playing a flawed game like Madden, is because the content behind it is the part that I draw enjoyment out of. And the minute I can't or don't draw enjoyment from it, I'm gonna walk away. I've done it once, I'll do it again. And as long as the content is enjoyable to me and the community is enjoyable to me, I'll be here even if it is a miserable game, because I'd rather enjoy the content and the community than the game. If I'd like to have everything be a perfect world, but in a non-perfect world, give me community and content, and I'll deal with the game's headaches, and that's it.
Yep, I can't add anything to that. So I would say we're gonna do our giveaways tomorrow. So I'll start announcing that. I have a full day of training early, and so I got to get through that. But after my full day of training, I'll come right back and announce some later that afternoon. So we'll do our giveaways tomorrow as it officially closes here in a couple of minutes. We have 2 test franchises up, so both a comp test franchise and a sim test franchise. The sim is on All Madden, the comp is on All Pro. So get in there if you can, and it lets you play as many as you can. Both of the passwords are in Discord. Both of them are OMFL and OMFL 2. And so there's a lot there for you to jump into and start helping us test and try. I did start to adjust some sliders on the comp. I have not played all the sim mode yet, so I haven't adjusted anything over there. But come jump in with us. A lot of stuff to come here over the next couple of weeks as we get ready for the official launch of the OMFL with the first patch that's going to be coming out for the new scouting system. And yeah, it's time to plug in, man. So come plug in. Let's have some fun, and let's do a lot of stuff. So guys, have a great rest of your week. It is almost midnight, and Nate's got to get up early and train coaches, so I need to get my old tail to bed. I love you, though. I hope that you have a great rest of your week, and I can't wait as we continue to progress here. Keep your hopes up, and let's just enjoy the community that we have and playing a game that we enjoy. Hopefully, we can get this game fixed, and you can all come enjoy it with us. So, guys, until next Press Pass Live next Sunday, I will see you. Have a great rest of your week. God bless you, and deuces. I think maybe. Oh yeah, there we go. Deuces, guys.